slavery been abolished? What will this mean for our economy?
Welcome back to DC Network. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we're bringing you live news from all over the country.
Previously on DC Network, the U.S. has admitted new states from the land gained in the Mexican-American War. Will Utah become a slave state and California a free state? What will the impact of that be in the Senate as the free states hold the majority?
Today we are continuing our talk on the recent compromise made by the U.S. After California requested to join the U.S. as a free state last year in 1849, debates rose about the unbalanced power that would give the North in the Senate. After long debates and hours of work, a compromise was reached.
First, California has officially been accepted into the U.S., and the slave trade in Washington, D.C. has been abolished. It is now illegal to import any slaves into D.C. for sale. Alongside the slave trade, the Texas land borders have now been settled, with Utah and New Mexico being allowed to choose whether they want to legalize slavery or not.
The Fugitive Slave Act has been amended. This act now requires all people to report and return any runaway slaves to their owners, even if found in a free state.
This political debate continues. The conflict between the North and South grows exponentially. Now let's transition over to our on-site reporter. Welcome to the show and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm here in the courtyard of the Capitol building where I'm with a man from a newly made state. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Walter Freeman and I'm from Sacramento, California.
What are your thoughts on the compromise that took place here in the Capitol building today?
Well, I'm very happy with the compromise. I feel honored for my state to have been accepted in the United States. However, I feel like parts of the compromise could have been better. For starters, to amend the Fugitive Slave Act was shocking. How could they demand we return fugitive slaves back to their abusive owners? There are free states for a reason. The people risk their lives to flee. Returning them could lead to their death if their owners wanted to teach other slaves a lesson.
And what are your opinions on Henry Clay? He was a pretty big figure in all of this.
My opinions on Senator Clay? Well, he supports the compromise, therefore my state being admitted as a free state, so I like him. I'm not so sure about him supporting the southern states and their ways of slavery, but he's okay.
This guy sucks. Can we get that guy over there? That guy looks interesting. Let's go. Excuse me, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the camera?
My name is Martin Slaver, and I'm from Houston, Texas. And don't you worry, I know your schemes. I'm a slave owner, and I'm not afraid to admit so. Around these parts it may be frowned upon, but I know my rights. This once free place where I could own what I please has been under attack. What happened to the freedom, the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I mean, honestly, the amendment to the Fugitive Slave Act is the only good thing that could come from this. Slaves should never have been able to allowed to get to a free state and be free. I mean, how does that work? Like, if I just lose my possessions and they run off, like they're just gone? No, they're mine. I own them. The rest of the compromise is just an attack on everyone in the South. We need to stop the system from continuing. You hear me?
Yes, we hear you. So what are your opinions on the abolishment of slave trade in Washington, D.C. here?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's what it is. We have our systems and our way of life, and that's been working. You know, I've been happy living on my land, making money. It's worked. And so what? That a few people just have to suffer a little bit. I mean, they're set to take that all away. It may just start in D.C., but I can see they're just testing the waters, seeing if it'll work, and then forcing us to do the same all over the U.S.
What senator do you feel like acknowledged the wishes of your people the most?
You mean the right people? Yeah, Senator Calhoun for sure. He's the only one that understands that we should be able to live how we've been living since we got our freedom. He believes that we should keep our way of life, and the North just cannot accept that because for whatever reason, they believe that African Americans should be free.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. You heard it here first, folks. Those are opinions from people who are down here at the courthouse, who have experienced it all from both sides. So if that didn't help you out with your decision making on this, how you should broach this entire subject, I don't know what will. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you. As you can see, many people have strong opinions about this new compromise, and this is causing a rise in conflict between the North and the South.
As changes are made in our nation, it is important to remember that even compromises will bring disagreement. With slavery being pulled in many directions, both the North and South fight to be heard. Who will truly get their way with this compromise?
Tune in later as we address these same heated debates taking place in the Senate as senators battle to make their opinions of their people heard.
Thank you for joining us today on DC Network, and we'll see you next time.